I'm Jordan, chairman of the board.
Okay, sorry about that, Jordan. Real quick. So Paris is on West Coast time. I'm not sure he's going to make it. Terry, I called. He should be here. Tim is in church service.
Okay.
So that's pretty much, we still have a quorum.
Okay, so you want to give it 5 minutes or?
Let me try to reach Terry, and then I'll just call him right now while we're live. I mean, he wants the job. He has to be on time. If he doesn't show up, then he can't be hired.
Okay. All right, then can we go to the next slide for the agenda?
Do you want to do your good morning to everybody?
Right. Good morning, guys. I'm Jordan, chairman of the board. This is our March board meeting. Okay, Ron made it. Ron, can you hear us? Jonas, can I get the next slide for the agenda, please? Okay, so today,
can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right, good.
Okay. So on the agenda, we have the CEC address, the general discussion, Ocean Mass Band, Juneteenth Battle of the Bands, the percussion clinic, the CEO report, corporate taxes, the job interview, and the chairman's report.
All right, cool.
Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
Well,
Okay, next slide. Jonas, I'm going to pass this to you.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the general board meeting. Good to be meeting with you. We've had a lot of progress in the third quarter. So I'm going to go over finances. I was really looking forward to Malcolm being here, but he has not responded to phone calls. He has not participated in the reports that you see available here today. On the left side of your screen is our balance sheet, which basically tells you, I think the most important number is down at the bottom. The two numbers at the bottom are equity total is 29,000 and liabilities and equity is 28,700. These are the things that we have purchased that we still hold, and money that we have spent. So we'll go over that. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense because this is more for the accountant. But if you look to the right of that, you'll see a chart where you can see like our startup in August and September. This is when we were with the Boys and Girls High School campus. And then October, you can see that we've had a lot of growth in our revenue. January, there was a slight slump and we anticipated that. And that red, loss that you see there was because we purchased supplies for the mass band and then we build again in February. I anticipate now that it's going to get easier for us to build. So what I wrote down in that brief is that starting with fiscal year 2022 quarter one, we had a rough start at the financial year. Recovering from losses experienced while at schools in Bed-Stuy portfolio, as well as East Flatbush fundraising season brought in strong revenue where losses were experienced in the startup of Mass Band. Also to say that we know now for sure our fundraising period is from November to January. So that's when we bring in a hefty amount of our revenue from private donors. And so as we're looking at purchasing, fundraising software, some of these things we could wait on only because we know what our donations are going to be and how to reach that audience. So I'll move on to the next slide unless anybody has any questions about this. We're going to go into more detail coming up soon. So sales and expenses. So sales are okay while expenses don't show the entire picture. Cash on hand right now in the bank is $2,550 with another $8,300 in outstanding billing to take place in the next 60 days. Of the outstanding billing, 50% is payable to me for time on the job as my contract rate. I think I take about $4,000 of that. That leaves the Institute on hand with $6,850. The need for fundraising is clear. Thus, a professional platform is worth its weight. But it's like fundraising is only worth its weight when we have a band, and we have a band now. So we'll discuss that a little bit later, but we have to be careful with our cash on hand. So also an award of $5,000 is on its way to the Institute, of which 50% is payable to Tiffany, actually, not Tim, because Tim is not in this board meeting. So I cannot speak for anybody that's not here. Bringing the Institute's total up to $9,350 after all debts are paid. So my recommendation at this point is for us to seek additional financing based on the value of our contract. And the value of that contract at 8 years is 2.4 million on the high end, $420,000 on the low end. We're right now negotiating with the Department of Education as to what money is going to get where. Now, taking a look at the bottom left-hand corner, if you look at our expenses, so salaries and wages were actually not that bad. It looks like it takes about like 40%, or no, it's 38.4% of the total spend, which is what we wanted it to be, $6,150, pretty good. Other expenses, moving expenses, office expenses, cost of goods sold, marketing, reimbursements, and then other things that we spent like on meals and meals or investments. Like to be honest with you, I invested in a future band member that just turned 2 years old and sent them $100 for their birthday party, and I thought that was a worthy investment because I want to see us building a community. So that's what you see there. And then on the right hand side, you can look at our customers this year. Paul Gamina, which was up in the Bronx, we lost that customer because they weren't happy with the percussionist that we put in the school. Most importantly, I really think that the person that we put in the school at the time didn't represent our brand image of being clean and polished. So that's something as we move forward with this contract over the next 30 days that we need to make sure everybody understands the clean and polished doctrine. Sherman Fleming, we're with her now. The full picture of working with her starting to show, and I'll go over that a little bit later. It looks like we brought in $6,614 in donations, and then Tabari Bomani, after working there for 6 months, we got $3,000. So this is the end of this low billing, this $30,430.24 that we brought in. This is the end of this era of treat us how you want to, because now we'll be held to a higher standard. Any questions? Right. So this is about projections. Let's take a look at this here. So financial impact, we're currently in the green. The key being not to overextend the finances, people, resources, and accounting of the Institute in order to become cash rich and recession proof. We will continue to bill, and the addition of a contract will see profit reaching the Institute and stability for our instructions. One budget per year, depending on assignment and competition, which is not very accurate. If you take a look at the spread here, we get the choice of 3 of these budgets per year. So we're going to start at the top line, 175,873. What we're trying to figure out now with the Department of Education, here's our rate per hour to 44.27. They put on the front page of our contract that the estimated spend was $60,000, and I was like, absolutely not. I think I wrote in my notes. Let me grab my notes real quick. I wrote in my notes to the Department of Education that estimated annual amount of $60,000 does not meet required spend to compensate the program to keep required insurances and liabilities to pay our employees. Please clarify for us, please. And we understand that we have to we're going to have to bid against other music companies. However, it has been established by the Department of Education that we're a sole provider, so nobody can bid against us because they can't provide the service that we provide. So this number 175,873 should be secured. In addition, an additional $14,546 for working with the parents should be secured. And then the other spend of 67986 should be secured. So let's do a quick map. So this is in a perfect world. Now we don't know exactly what the Department of Education is thinking. I'll go over what I've understand from the contract in a moment, but let's take a look at this total real quick. So if I take 175,873 plus 14,546 plus 986 for 1 year, that's 434,358. So now the Department of Education has to look at these totals, look at these numbers, and look at the services that we actually provide and figure out how they're going to pay us. But if I were to do a projection and look at our next year of revenue, we should be in the $300,000 to $400,000 range as a company. Any questions? And of course, we're going to come to general discussion, and we'll discuss more general discussion. But basically, this tells you what our minimum amount of participants are. So the smallest band that you can have is 50. So the Department of Education has an incentive to pack it. And the reason that they want to pack the band is so that the price per participant is lower, because if you only put 50 kids in the program, then you multiply this number by 4. So that $1.22 now all of a sudden becomes $4.88 per hour. So it's not cost effective for the Department of Education doing this contract as we have negotiated to have a small band program. It would be in their best interest to pack the classes and to make the band as large as possible. But with it being as large as possible, it has to be able to be managed. And we're going to roll out technology to help us with managing our ensemble, so it shouldn't be an issue. Look at this parent. I know that 500 is scary, but we're going to be meeting once a month, just like a normal PTA, so it's not a big deal. We're going to set them up with this board style meeting metric, just like we meet, so that they can stand on their own. So the board will be crucial, I think, at their very first meeting to teach them how we meet. So now, as far as the contract, what I found is that obviously the person who authored the contract was aware of our situation. We're going to be reporting to the chief of staff out of the chancellor's office. He's a longstanding chief of staff there. He's more in charge than the chancellor. But in reading the contract, a few things popped out to me. So number one, we can only work with board participants, and that they're going to be assigned to us, which is different than our current situation. Current situation, they want us to recruit, but that's not the way the business should be carried out. Business should be carried out as they select our service. They give us a list of students. They give us space. If you can see an item K, it says the board shall make best efforts to ensure that adequate space as required by the nature of the contractor's activity shall be furnished at no cost to the contractor at each school site where the services are to occur. So if you take a look at that, it's like you're going to provide us participants, you're going to provide us space. And then it says that they can cancel our contract with 2 days notice. I want you to take note that I'm asking for 30 days and that we could bill for 1 month, because we have so much equipment estimated at almost $1 million that we're bringing into a school. And we need to make sure that we have every piece, that we've gotten everything back from every kid, that we've collected every mouthpiece, every drumstick, that we've done an inventory, provided that to our insurance, and then pay thousands of dollars to get movers in to pack the shit up and move it to storage, or where it's going to go to storage. So the entire picture of the contract, I'll do this for you really quickly. I'm going to go over my comments. I said the costs associated with uniform cleaning and instrument repair leave cause for concern. How do we avoid possible cancellation with loss and no fault, which has been the pattern of past board programming? So basically I'm saying, hey, we just worked at Boys and Girls High School. They couldn't pay us, and so we left. But they didn't pay the costs that were associated with the students using our equipment. Next one is that I addressed with you earlier, is if we're the sole provider of services and have demonstrated such for the past 18 years of our existence, what does the MTAC process mean for us gaining the required operating budget to offer high quality programming to New York City Board of Education schools, students, and parents? Our current agreements are priced below the standard contract rate, as we do not have a contract on official record and are precluded. How do we bring our current school portfolio up to the pricing standard? Which means that current schools that we're at right now, since they do not represent this contract that we're about to sign, that we can lose them. And we've done a lot of work there. And I hate to say that, but if we have to lose them, we have to let them go, because if they can't put now their money where their mouth is and give us a space that we need to be able to work with lockers and a full band room, then we need to go somewhere that's going to make that happen for us. And I do believe that the Department of Education knows where they're going to place us. I have a feeling that they're eyeing Brownsville, unless they're going to try to really make this thing work in Crown Heights, which the Crown Heights schools want to make it work, but they're pretending to be broke. But you look at the budgets in there, they have cash flowing like gold.
I have a question, if I
Yes,
may.
ma'am. Mhm.
So they have the right to, what does it say, cancel, reschedule, or relocate. Is there like a limit to how many times they could do that? So like, what if they try to move us like every other month? That's gonna mess with the consistency of the program. Is there any fine print with that?
Yeah, there isn't, and that's, but I think that once we get started, we're safe. So I think that this is just like for those type of contractors who really can't get their stuff together. But let me see if I can find some fine print there for there. So what it comes down to is some kind of gray area with the reporting structure. The reason that they would cancel this contract or reschedule or relocate us is because of them not playing politics right. And I know Alex hates politics, and I don't blame him. But what they're trying to do is to make it so principals and assistant principals meet with us to collaborate on scheduling, but that the board and the chancellor's office will regulate and manage the program. Those that work at the Department of Education or have, been in DOE schools know that will cause an issue with the principals, because the principals want ultimate authority over anything that's inside of their building. So I will ask for additional clarification when we get the second rewrite.
And then one more thing. Let's say, of course, I don't wish it. Let's say that wherever we're placed, for whatever reason, the environment or whatever is not conducive to our program. Do we have, what is within our right for us to say, you know what, this is not working out? And how does that work? Do we put in we write an official letter saying we were requesting to be moved? Like, how does that work?
So yeah, we can request to move. However, before we even get into the thing, so here are a few briefs. Our program aligns with the school year, and the equipment we utilize is massive. So we need 30 days notice before we move. The other thing that I wanted to highlight, I said to them, is that we are a quality program, whereas quantity is not the goal in terms of multiple sites. Similar to the Juilliard and LaGuardia schools, our program should stand in a community as a music magnet to be most effective. A centralized program at a larger school in the middle of the community, whereas each school can be represented and participate, might be the most economical and effective in raising a high quality, large competitive marching band and concert band program. Can we add this language to the contract to speak to this? So to answer your question, Tiffany, I do think before we move forward in a school that we're going to have the ability to make sure that we're taking the right step forward. We've already been through the fire and we're golden now.
Okay.
So the next 180 days, everybody, we have to update our insurance. I'm waiting on that because I'm like, yeah, we have to update our insurance or whatever. We paid for it. It's not a big deal, but they owe us like $11,000 toward insurance. So why would I bend over backward and extend all of our resources? I mean, if they say that we have to, fine. But why do that if the board is required on our contract to pay for their part of insurance, because it's expensive. Next 180 days, we're going to apply for financing. I'm estimating that's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15K. I already spoke with Jordan about that, so I know for sure Jordan and I will be on the contract. and then we'll survey everybody else to see if you have the credit score to bolster the application. It may or may not be required anyway. Next, we're going to join ADP. The reason we're going to join ADP is because I do anticipate, and you'll see this later in the slides, I do anticipate that we'll have enough cash after we get through this mass ban, and we'll discuss this. I'm going to put Alex on that. After we get through the mass ban, we should be able to actually begin full operations and open up payroll. And I would anticipate open up payroll in July. And that means that our instructors would be on payroll. They would have ADP where they can clock in and clock out. I tell them they wouldn't have to use like, oh, I got here at 8:30 and I left at 12:30. They would just say, I'll work 3 hours today. And they get paid every 2 weeks. And in order to do that, we basically need 4 to 5 months of money in the bank. And I think that we could do that. Then we need to add workers' comp. I have a slide on that. We need to amend our insurance policies basically because instead of listing the New York City Department of Education, they want us to list the New York City Board of Education and Chancellor. We're going to hold a compliance meeting in the next 180 days with Yesenia. That's my attorney, our attorney. And so she will meet with us and she will talk you through how to avoid getting sued. We've done really good. We're like one of the only companies in our insurance portfolio and in her practice that has never been sued. We're going to sign the contract probably by the end of next week if we can get them to meet the terms and it makes sense to us. So if you're interested in helping me negotiate, it does mean, quite a few messages over the next week, but then that's pretty much it. Additional board meetings, I think that you guys should discuss today during open session, like when are we going to meet from this day forward? I think you should meet every 90 days, though most boards are meeting every 30 days. Between every 60 and every 90 days seems to work good for you. The program is going to begin. It looks like we should be starting immediately is what they want us to start. And we're in the process of starting immediately somewhere else. But before we move forward, and I'm going to have a conversation with the school, we need to bill and we need them to understand that the rate for pay has changed and they need to look at the budget and really come to talk and stop bullshitting. I put August 22 here as an estimate for band camp. Jordan.
So next we'll be moving into the general discussion. Next slide, Jonas. Is there supposed to be audio?
Yeah, no audio. Hold on one second.
We showed up. And we showed up. We went in and we did our best. Brooklyn.
All right. So this is continuing. I'm good to go, Jordan.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So this is continuing the discussion about our current school portfolio. So we started at aspirations, but she's really using me as a consultant. There's only about 52 kids in that building. It's a huge building, by the way. They identified a band room, rather, Medgar Evers College has identified a band room for us. In the meantime, we're in a lease at the Boys Club of New York. We still have another $900 to pay on that lease, which I really am trying to figure out with aspirations. Hey, can we use the band room or not? But then, as you see in the contract, we can't have department edgy, whatever. But we have to figure out if we can use it. So the two schools that are in phase one are MS 61 and PS 161. We're familiar with both of these campuses. And then phase two would encompass Jackie Robinson. So if we look at this 1, 2, 3, 4 total schools, if each school gives $50,000 or $75,000, then we hit our budget. So we have some problem solving metrics here. And I think it would be nice if, I guess I could read them down and then we can have a discussion. Or what do you recommend, Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry, I was just thinking. I think we should go with what you said.
So aspiration contract, I need to pay that contract, and they need to pay that contract, and we have to close it, because if we keep their contract open and we sign that contract and they see that purchase order through the system, they will lower our contract rate. School locations are not guaranteed where we're at right now, but our contract promises us space. So why would we go somewhere where it's shaky ground and the contract is guaranteeing us concrete? And then also, if we're looking at the schools that we have right now, where's the central space? Where are we going to meet at? We can't meet at the Boys Club of New York because they're in direct competition with us. They know that we can operate this armory. If we were given the funds that they have, we can operate this armory.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is Boys Club of New York, is that just a rental space, or is that a school, or is that what exactly is Boys Club of New York?
They're a nonprofit organization that operates the armory, and then they have other locations throughout New York City.
So they're like an umbrella organization that.
No, they're a nonprofit, just like us.
Oh, okay.
Just have money.
Okay, I'll probably have to do some research myself.
Yeah. I think they received the contract before we did and ended up in that space. So then the next thing, the school budget for K through 8, like, it's fine. I don't mind working in K through 8, but first off, we're only going to have 5th through 8th grade in the band, and that's not really sustainable in the long run, because kids are kids, and so we'll work it out. And then their budgets are kind of crazy. And then what I'm noticing, if they keep us with our current brochure of schools, we really become Medgar Evers College Prep feeder, and I'm with it, but not really. Aspirations is becoming a community school. However, Aspirations wants no participation in the program. They just want to pay the money. And they want to pay the money because the Department of Education told them that they have to. We now are officially able to grant a music credit. Like, that research proposal went far enough that we can grant our credit in music, and we can grant a CTE credit in ROP business. So now the problem, and these are all problems here, is logistics of moving children. So let's say that we get MS 61 and MS 161 and aspirations. Let's say that we meet at aspirations. How are we going to move the kids from 161 to 61? We don't have school buses, and we cannot get them. And after school, the school buses are unavailable. So I like this model, but I think that we can get a better situation, like, in the long run, that we can. And so that's now that's open discussion.
You said we can get a better situation. So I guess what's the plan, the strategy for that?
We're really right now in the dark. We have to we really need to have a conversation with the Department of Education and meet with Juan Rosales and figure out like what are the actuals and what is just bullshit. What do we need to do on our own? We need to figure that out. But we do know that if we stay where we are, they need to guarantee us a band room. And the only one of these schools that has a band room is Jackie Robinson. Aspirations has a room that we can use, but it would need to be, you know, we have to purchase so much in it that we would end up bankrupt. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah. Is there, how does it work? Is there a timeline or some kind of setup where we could have to, I guess, officially request a meeting, or how does it work? Or we're just speaking through the DOE at this point and they relay the information to the higher ups?
so right now we're working with their attorneys. Let me see the name of the attorney. So right now we're just working directly with their attorneys. Their attorneys are going through and ensuring that the contract, his name is Cedric Cooper, attorney Cedric Cooper. So he's going through the contract, looking at our responses and then trying to align the contract to our actual services. Because one of the comments that they write is that, oh, you can't conduct any business on the Department of Education, you know, property. I said, but the band is a business. So if we can't conduct business to get the band from a parade, what the fuck are we doing there? Excuse my language. So it's that. Shall we? All right, Mr. Chairman.
Isn't this your slide, Jonas?
This is your slide, but I could.
Can you play the video, please?
Sure.
You just learned our company developed a new technology that will really be a game changer. You are so excited to talk about the new innovation. Can you share this information with your friends and family? No. As an employee, you have access to confidential information about upcoming developments and products that are not public and must not be shared with friends or family who might use that information for personal gain. It is both illegal and against our company policy for any individual to profit from undisclosed information relating to the company or any other company, including our clients. Confidential and proprietary information must be preserved and protected. This includes confidential and proprietary information belonging to our company, our clients, and other companies we do business with. Confidential information includes any non-public information that, if disclosed, would be harmful to the relevant company or useful to competitors.
All right. So not only do we have confidential briefs in the contract that we need to follow, and the band staff and I will sit down at a weekly meeting and really unpackage that confidential information. Tiffany works with this information every day. I work with it every day. I think our biggest point of contention right now as an organization is the Facebook Messenger. Now, we like it, but what's to stop somebody from forwarding, you know, our messages, which has been a historical problem in the past. I think the current board that we have right now, we trust everybody on it, and we've not had any intelligence breaches in the past like year. But when we first started, we had a lot of breaches of our confidential information. So we need to figure out if we're going to move off of that platform, how feasible it is, because we tried the band app and not everybody checked it. I know that Facebook is convenient for everyone, but we need everybody to understand that with the contract, signing the contract, we're to the point that if there's a breach of confidential information and you breach governance, like that would trigger legal action against you. You will be liable as a member of the board directors or staff for leaking our information. So don't find yourself in a lawsuit against the organization because you leaked or breached information. Just like, don't do it, like, because we're now an official corporation. And so like, we understand everybody has marching bands and nonprofits and you know that they're doing well. But we're to the point now where we're gonna, not only are we gonna move to get higher revenues in, but it might be at some point in the future that this curriculum and this pattern can be franchised and we could become a for-profit model. So we'd be looking to do that in the next 10 years. So any questions on confidential information?
Yeah, I have a question. What's stopping people from leaking information on the band app? Like, couldn't they use word of mouth to leak information?
Yeah, I think no system is perfect. Like
Okay,
on band, the only thing is you can't say, oh, I'm going to forward this to Tyrone, or one of our biggest competitors. Or I'm going to forward this to Empire Marching Elite, or I'm going to forward this to, Soul Tigers on the band app. You can still screenshot it, but why do that? I mean, I was looking at Malcolm's LinkedIn the other day, and he has board treasurer of the Brooklyn Music and Leadership Institute on his profile, and it's leading him to, have talks about becoming a CEO of other arts organizations or to become a financial officer and stuff like that. So
right.
even there's a financial benefit for the directors as far as the band directors, but there is a social benefit if you're a board of director member, and we don't skip you either. We try to include you with gifts that we give, or if there's other opportunities for you to get merch, we try to get you there. So why waste an opportunity when we just got through one heck of a time period doing a research proposal and getting that approved while managing legal and financial and doing board governance, and we got through all of that now. So
another question
But
would
even
be,
if they were to say stuff like that, oh, I'm sorry,
who's this?
Ron.
Go for it, Ron.
this is Ron. Yeah, I'm gonna say, even if they were to say stuff like that and try to breach it, isn't it their word against ours?
What?
I think he cut out. I think he just cut out.
Oh, did you? Oh, shoot, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, even if somebody were to, come out and say, certain things to quote unquote breach our confidentiality, there's no evidence of what they're gonna say in their words against ours.
Well, it's not just our words against theirs, because we're actually the source of information. So the items that we create, like for instance, the Brooklyn Social News, like nobody, no online streamer, no platform has access to the way that we run the Brooklyn Social News. So like we saw Jackson State University at the very first Brooklyn Social News, they didn't want to appear on the news, but after Tiffany did the Bayou Classic, then Jackson State did a 3-minute Brooklyn Social News spinoff. So how would you think to do a spinoff off of something that we created that did not exist before? So that is enough for us to say, hey, you breached our confidential information and you're liable. Now, I love Jackson State, so
Okay.
I wouldn't sue them, but now we're saying that, hey, we're about to sign a contract that the Department of Education can sue us if we breach their information. So therefore everybody on the board would be legally liable for breaching any information, including the band directors.
Okay, that's understandable. Ooh, thanks, man.
So don't forward anything, but if you have a question about anything, have a question about it. But now you guys are moving into, you guys are moving into the first floor of a skyscraper, and you guys are the executive board. So we want to protect you, and we're going to protect the organization so that it can stand the test of time. And like I said, be recession proof. And we're getting there now, to go through. We haven't had our first band, but our revenue exceeds the Empire Marching Elite.
All right, one more thing.
Yeah.
So one more thing. So with all that being said, I would trust that you would have I don't know, a press release kind of agreement or some kind of document saying, these are actions that we'll take if you do breach confidentiality.
We're saying that now, and
Right.
this is we're saying that now, and this is recorded. And then I think that there should be some information for sure in your bylaws, and I sent those across last night. So just like take a look at your
Yeah,
bylaws.
yeah.
No, nobody's in any issue. It's just like we're trying to say, like, if you don't want to be on the board, then don't be on the board. But don't
Sure.
not want to be on the board and stay on the board and then forward our information all over the place. And that's just like right now, Bianca B is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
here.
yeah.
We have to remove her from the chat. Terry's not here. We have to remove him from the chat. Tim is in church. We know he's in church. He gets a pass, but that's what I mean by that.
Okay. All right.
There's nothing planned against anybody right now. So, and I hope that there never will.
I'm just, yeah, this is all, we're all kind of just setting up everything.
So I guess like we can, I mean, Tiffany, do you remember like we had a breach before?
Yeah, I feel like we've had a couple because certain information was getting out in some kind of way, and we pretty much, our detective work, are using our logical sense. It had to have come from our meetings because nobody else. The things that were happening is like, well, only that stuff was discussed in the meeting. How would they know this, or why would they make this move? It seemed like it was tied back to information that we had discussed as a group.
Yeah. So I mean, can't say it any better than that. Let's move on. We'll talk more in general discussion. Jordan, shall we?
Sorry.
Or do you?
I'm gonna pass. Huh?
Do you want to stay on confidential information, or do you want to?
I mean, I have one question. Just like, why do you think people weren't checking the band app?
I mean, I feel like the band app has a lot of features. It really does. But I think that people check Messenger more than they would any other app that gives a notification. And if you mute the notifications on band app, it won't alert you to check it again. And if you don't normally check it like you normally check your Messenger feed and you see that we're highlighted, then you'll go and check it out. But band app, if you mute the notifications, you literally won't know that we've sent something across. We'd have to constantly messaging you on Messenger to tell you to go check band app, which is the same as us, using Messenger. So I don't have a problem with using Messenger.
It's just human error or whatever. Okay.
We just have to figure out, and I think we could do this today. We just need to figure out if there are any other technologies that we could use that people would be happy with. I think like maybe we could use the band app for sending confidential documents over. Maybe we could use the band app for sending your board materials over and stuff like that. And we just say, hey, we have your board materials available on the band app, and you can check them there. Your meeting details. We could meet from the band app. We have polls. We could do all of our polls and our votes there too. So maybe this should be our last month. We should finish this month. We have 3 days. We have votes that are our motions that are gonna be placed through the band app. So can I? Huh?
Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
So do you want to put a motion to move all of our confidential materials onto the band app?
I think that's what I want to do. Yes.
Somebody want to second that?
A second.
Yeah, I second it. I don't.
Okay.
Heard it.
Okay.
All right, and then so we'll put that motion in the chat, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. I'll write it down for now, and then I'll put it in a second or after we're done.
Ready to move forward?
Yep. Oh yeah, Jonas, I'll pass this slide to you.
All right, this is pretty simple. We're required to have workers' comp and employers' liability insurance. We have the liability insurance, so that's not a big deal. No, I think this is additional we have to have. Just in case you hurt your knee high stepping or you drop an instrument on your leg. These things happen. So it costs us $1,100. It's not a big cost, except right now we looked at our finances. We can't afford to extend that and also carry the burden of the alumni ban. So I just wanted to put these numbers out in front of you so that you can have a record and understand them when I say that we are going to buy them up, or if the Department of Education does give us the funding that we need and we purchase even a higher policy to include disability insurance. So That's what this is, okay? So this is a little more involved. So on the left-hand side, what I've done is lined up all the requirements for ADP. The most important thing is to understand it's going to cost us $92 per payroll, in addition to any taxes. They're going to give us all of our posters and stuff, that all of our compliance docs. So an average payroll, and this was on the low end, like this is just a startup, is $1,902 plus payroll fees. So call it $2,000. So this is what I mean by we're ready, just about ready to start a payroll. They're going to debit our account every 2 weeks though. So in order to do this, we need to have 4 times for $16,000 in the bank. And this is why I say we move forward with getting financing. In addition, ADP actually gives, they actually have options for workers' comp, and they could loop that into our payroll fees, and we won't have to pay as much as the $1,100 per month. I think there's our year. It thinks might only come up to like 500 to 600, 700. And then lastly, on this slide, HR, we're thinking about getting an HR servicer. The HR will do all of our onboarding, compliance, make sure that we're legit. We'll actually put their face of our representative on our website and call them Brooklyn Music and Leadership Institute HR. They'll do all of our hiring. But as far as like talent search, I think I would rather us headhunt than put up applications. Like the Institute, they're going to be looking forever. We're careers, it'll say send your resume to info@brooklyn-leadership.org for the life of this organization. We're not going to be like New York Edge or any other organization, say we're hiring this job, that job, this job, that job. No, that it's not going to be like that. We're going to grow very slowly. The first thing that needs to grow is the board. The second thing that needs to grow is the band staff. And the band staff only needs to grow if we find those excellent, talented individuals who can follow fit into the culture and follow the band directors who are here, because when they come in and report to Tiffany, they don't need to come to me. And if they come in and they report to Tim, they don't need to come to me. They just need to follow directions the first time that they are given. So that's this slide. So take a look at it. Any questions?
All right, just real quick, this is unrelated. My internet is about to run, so I'll be right back if I cut off. Okay?
All right. No questions. All right, let's move on.
So up next, we have the Ocean Mass Band. Next slide, Jonas.
Al Smart, do you think you could run us through what's going on, how you feel, and then read down the SWOT analysis for us? SWOT's analysis stands for strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So Alex, if you could run us through Mass Band.
Mass Band is, good morning all. Mass Band is coming along very, very slowly. It's very hard because we're all, adults now. And the retention rate for each practice, we only had 2 practices so far, but the last practice we had wasn't a good one in a sense of attendance rate, even though we still sounded good, but everybody just needs to commit to this a little more because a lot is on the line for this. I get it. Everybody has their own life, but we're just having a little communication problem right now. The next practice, for next month is looking a little hopeful, but we shall see. If we don't get the attendance that we need, then we're just gonna scrap the whole thing altogether, because people who are showing up, time is being wasted pretty much. We are supposed to be doing performances and all this other stuff, but everybody not showing up, we can't do it. And I feel like we shouldn't be doing any performances yet, because we just started meeting up. So that's my take on that.
You want to run us through SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths.
It's kind of blurry on my phone.
All right, I'll help you out. All right, let's see. Can anybody else help us out? Kendra, you want to help us out with SWOT?
What's that? Allows program to connect with alumni.
Sure, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Let Kendra go ahead and do it.
SWOT is allows programs to reconnect with alumni, reestablishing a legacy. Meaning that we're getting in contact with all old members from all programs under the umbrella of the Institute. And just, refreshing and reminding everyone about the great things that we did in the program, the things that the program offered, and hopefully, trying to get everyone back excited and get us to where we need to go. W alumni are between 25 and 30, somewhat over the idea of supporting their local programs, no matter the contribution we've made. Meaning, a lot of us, we're adults, as Alex said before, we're adults, we have our own lives going on. So the feedback that we've been getting, it's, a lot of the alumni are like, oh, well, we have our own lives going on. We're extending ourselves really when we, try to do anything with the band or give the band any free time that we may have. Because we have our own lives going on, we may have other things going on, we may have families, we may have other projects that we feel are more important than the band going on. So it's sort of a teeth pull, really, right now.
All right, opportunities.
Opportunities allows community to understand the BMLI contribution, which is vastly different from compensation. Even the playing field for our alumni by paying them for all performances.
So I wanted to speak on this. So the opportunity that we have, first off, a lot of our alumni that are coming back to us are averse to participate in any other performance ensemble because they realize that we are a high quality ensemble. So to give you an idea, you can have band practice and have your own building with nothing on the wall and folding chairs and cheap music stands, and you can have band like that. Or you can have band inside of an armory with hardwood floors, chairs and, music stands and your music packets and every instrument that you need. So I think that a lot of people are coming to us because they understand that our service is vastly different than everybody else's. And that's really good because as we take video at this next rehearsal, it will allow people to see like that we are a sole provider of band services. Everybody else is an imitation. I hate to say it like that, but they are. And then threats, Kendra.
Okay. Yep. Threats. Attendance is low at 13 to 26 members. Band. Blurry. Okay, but the band is expensive. It has $2,300 in lease expenses, plus about $350 per practice to move equipment, because we do not have a permanent place to store our equipment for the band. So we really got to think about the outcome of that, and that, you know, about our expenses as a whole, because quite frankly, if we don't have the attendance to bring in the revenue or become the program that we know we can become, it would make no sense for us to keep on putting out the funds that to promote the band, but it's not gonna regenerate the funds to replenish the account.
Yeah, and I do think, and this is Jonas, I do think that the alumni band is worth it. And I understand that it is at an extreme cost, but we're making music again. And that is so valuable in terms of our social media, in terms of our website, to get that footage of them rebuilding. And then there's also increased revenue streams as well. Our donors are very interested in this. Alex, do you have anything else, or anybody else want to speak on this?
I feel like another reason why it's hard to like get people to like take a look is because, you know, a lot of them are still salty about how you exited when you did. They're still butthurt about that. So, you know,
Yeah, and I
player.
want to speak to that too, by the way. You know, I've had a lot of time to reflect. I've done therapy. I left Medgar Evers at a time when I really had to. That program, not only did it reach the highest level of marching bands in the nation at the time and in the world, you know, from Brooklyn, New York, and it really was great. However, I wasn't healthy. I was living in a basement apartment that I couldn't afford. I couldn't wash my clothes. I didn't have food to eat. I had to make a change that was good for me in my life so that I'd be able to stand to live the next day. And it's fine that some of the alumni thought, you know, hey, you know, Jonas is so young. I think I was 27 at the time or 26. And they're like, hey, you know, my parents will take care of you. My parent will take you shopping. You could go wash your clothes at this parent's house and you won't actually have any money. But, you know, if you need to borrow $2 to ride the dollar van, we'll give you $2 and or you can walk. And it was not a way for a human being to live. And I understand that, you know, they're like, hey, you know, we loved our band program and we loved our band director, but you can't love your band program and your band director to ruin. And that's what people were trying to do, is to love the program so much that it would ruin me. And so instead of me ruining myself, I decided to get out of there, get my mental health together, go back home, find my roots, and then come back when I can actually offer a contribution that would be here to last forever. The last program was not sustainable in any way. Fine, you know, we had, you know, 200 used uniforms and, you know, 150, you know, instruments of various at various levels of repair, and we duct taped some stuff together in order to get the kids to nationals. And although we needed 3 buses, we would fit the kids on 2. That wasn't safe. So as it means to say, if they're butthurt, they really need to live a little bit more, because if you worked 80 hours a week and didn't get paid, you know, for 6 months, then you would have to do the exact same thing that I did too. I think the only difference here is that I saw what my future would be if I left, and if I stayed, what that future would be. And what I saw was that nobody knew what I was capable of as a teacher. And so once I had proven myself as a teacher, it was a good time at that point to say, okay, well, let me back away, because not only am I going to prove myself as a teacher, but I'm going to set a standard for how you're going to treat me and how you're going to compensate me moving forward. That's all.
Like, they understood the reasoning. It's just the communication. Like, you didn't really communicate that part at the time. And if you would have communicated it that way, you know, they would have been, you know, rocking, like, or they would have, say if you went to another program or whatever, they would have followed you too, regardless, because how many times did you relocated more than once already? And guess what? When you went to Mega, all your BSMT people came right with you. You feel me? Like, they were just saying that if things were better communicated, it just seemed like you were just like, oh, well, I'm not getting this done, I'm out, bye. And it just seemed like, well, damn. you know?
But it wasn't like that. And I think Kendra was in the band at the time.
Yeah.
It was a situation where I was like, I don't have any food to eat. Can I have some of your chicken wings? I'm not getting paid by the school. There were so many days in band practice where we had to stop band practice because I was going down to the office and saying, I'm not getting paid. There were so many days where I was coming to the band wearing the same clothes that I wore the day before or 2 days before because I didn't have anything to wear. This even goes back to BSMT when I didn't get paid. So everybody was aware of the situation. They just didn't want to accept it. And I don't know, Kendra, if you remember.
I want to speak on it because I was during that point I was in the band, and me and Jonathan had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I let him know he was asking me the same question.
Your phone is really like, I don't know, covered up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. We had actually me and Jonathan had a conversation last week or a couple of weeks ago about this same topic, and I was telling him my feelings is I feel like as children, as high school kids, there was no way for him. Yes, we were mature. Yes, we could understand a lot of things back then, but there was no way for Jonas to be able to just wholeheartedly, without sugarcoating it, tell us what was going on, and us sit there and try to be like, okay, we're going to figure out something. That wasn't the thing. That's what people had in their mind. That when we found out how everything transpired, we were like, well, we could have figured out something, and it's like that's not realistic. And since then, I'm pretty sure people have gone through, if not similar situations with companies or jobs or things in their, events in their life. But I feel like they should be more understanding to and more compassionate. Like things happen in life that we have no control over, and we can't keep on blaming someone for wanting better or making a choice to do better for their life when they were already stagnant and not going anywhere. So, and when I talk to a lot of the alumni now, like they have the same outlook on with other entities that they're within or participating in. And I'm like, okay, if you feel the same way that he felt almost 10 years ago, why can't you have compassion and be like, you know what? I understand because now I'm in his shoes in this almost in the same age bracket that he was. So I just feel like they need to be more conscious, because if it was them back then in his shoes, they wouldn't have stayed as long as he did. He stayed past the time that he was supposed to, just to make the program succeed and keep us happy. He wasn't happy. He was doing it to keep us happy. There's no way that we can't be like, oh no, we understand you were staying just to make us happy, but it got to the point where making us happy and trying to figure things out was just not going to work. Along with other things that he was dealing with on a personal level. So I just feel like people just want to hold this thing or this grudge because that's the only thing they can hold on to make them, I guess, feel better, or as to why they don't want to deal with it, or why they don't want to deal with him or do certain things with Jonas and the program. And it's just like, it's petty and it's over with, because if it was them, they would do the same thing quicker than he did. Their parents would have done the same thing quicker than he did. And they wouldn't have stayed around, oh, well, if they were him and they can't, oh, my parent will take care of you. They would look at him, if he was one of their students, like, that's stupid. I'm not relying on your parent. I'm a grown-ass person. You understand what I'm saying? Which is what he did. So they need to let it go. Why? Because we are now in the age bracket that he was in. And if we were to experience it, the same thing we experience now, we wouldn't be sticking around for nothing. We'd be like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm not doing it.
Totally
off of
agree
rip.
with you.
Off a rip. The first incident of not getting paid, we will all be like, you know what? I'm not doing this. If y'all want to pay me, when y'all get my money, then I'll come back. I'll think about coming back. But until then, no, I'm not coming back.
And there would have been some people that
Yeah,
would have
that's what happened
been that. Go ahead, Ron. I'm sorry.
I mean, I did the same. You know,
You
I did the
understand?
same. Philip to this day hates me, so I get it.
Why? Why he hates you?
From what I understand, because I left the way I did. I did the same.
And it's
I
not
wouldn't
that
say
it's,
hate, but
yeah, it's not about the money, but it's about like if I can't represent a standard of living so that I could teach my kids and give them something to look up to, then there's no point in me being there. But I could give you a national award-winning band
right.
on $0. I could give you that. So
Yeah,
let's move
and
this to general
on my
discussion.
side,
So
I was coming all the way.
go ahead.
I was coming all the way from the Bronx, so it was, you know, that was a freaking trek, you know, to do it every day for pretty much free. It was getting cost effective. It was not cost effective.
Anybody else want to speak on this topic?
Just quickly, me, I guess. So are we gonna try to continue to try to fix the relationship between alumni and BMLI, or do we just keep the people who want to be a part of it? Like, are we gonna, I guess, to what extent are we gonna continue to try to, I guess, figure out the relationship, or if people are gonna finally get over it or have a powwow, like, or do we just say, hey, it is what it is, people feel how they feel, and we have to, we have to move with the people who want to move with us?
I
I
don't think
really-
it's
At the
no
end of the day,
more.
I think it's their choice.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we need any more powwows. Honestly, send out the invitation. Whoever want to come out, come out.
Yeah.
Whoever don't, then that's their business. No hard
Exactly.
feelings or whatever. But
Yeah.
like, we're not gonna keep
Yeah.
on bringing back the topic of this, that, and the third. Like, okay, we grown. You don't want to come? All right. Nice to see you later.
It's
If
cool,
we see
yeah.
you, we see you. Hi, bye.
Yeah. And I was
That's
going to
it.
say,
Yeah,
it's
at the
really,
end
and I
of the
was
day,
going to
that's
say,
their choice.
Tiffany, and I was going to say, Tiffany, it really is about re-education. A lot of our alumni members are just coming back to go, oh, wow, that's right. That is how he used to teach us. That's right. That is how our horns came up. And it was like, what the fuck was I listening to everybody else for? That's right. This is how he taught us. That's right. That's how we sounded. That's right. That's what we did. So a lot of them are coming to relearn the traditions, and by us keeping those traditions, pristine, that will bring the alumni to us. We don't have to necessarily recruit. They'll hear them at some point because they sound good.
Oh man.
All right, shall we, Mr. Chung?
Yep, next slide. Fundraising, I'm passing it back to you, Prof.
This is for 10. This is for me. All right. So basically with the alumni band, we need to make money. So in order to make money, like, you look at this event right here, and I need to build a budget so I can take it to the bank. Because the permit is free, 10 school safety agents are free. We have to pay for tickets, and we want to print probably like 3,000 tickets. And then we want to check them out to certain individuals to sell. We have to transport Eastern, and to transport Eastern, 2 buses, $4,500 from DC to here, not a big deal, but we need to get that money and sign them, by May. Ticket sales, I'm thinking like $40 to get in, $25 for the kids. 2,000 tickets, if we sold them, it would get $40,000. In order to make this work, we need a freaking promoter. So we're gonna have to find and hire a club promoter to go to all the churches on a Sunday morning and drop off the flyers. We have to get onto the street so people know to expect this event. And then, so how do we get there? I think that we need to get a loan for like $12,500. That, like I said, 10 to 15K. Part of it will be used, like $4,500. We'll pay for Eastern's buses. We'll pay for our tickets and flyers, and it covers all of our startup costs, branding, marketing, and guarantees our DJ. And then the rest of the money we'll put in the bank to cover payroll so that we could get Tiffany and Tim into Brooklyn and onto ADP and working. So that's my idea for the fundraiser. So there's going to be a motion for you to vote on to approve it.
I have a quick
And
question.
yeah,
So no matter what the attendance, no matter how many people we have, we're gonna go through with the Battle of the Bands, no matter how, consistent.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter what- Okay.
and I think we should, because Eastern has battled us with 8 band members.
Okay.
They are our sister band. If it becomes that Eastern blows us out at this event, then it just becomes that they blow us out at this event, and better luck for us next year. But our relationship with Eastern is one that, like, Eastern is what allowed me to come back to teach again, because they destroyed Medgar Evers, and that's something that they never would have been able to do if I was there. And he knows that now. He knows that if I was at Medgar Evers today, that his band program would not be able to compete. But because I was not there, he was able to show the Medgar Evers community that they had a fraudulent band director there, and he destroyed him. So bringing him up here is more about us working together on this event than us, being Southern versus Grambling. But, we do want to bring him up. If we sell a lot of tickets and give him $1,000 or whatever, some money in cash that he could take back. And I think our biggest challenge here is to work with the accountant to get money handlers, because it's either going to be that the board is going to handle this money, so that we know that there's not going to be any fraud, and we're going to put you under a camera and give you clothes with pockets cut out so that you can actually do the accounting. Or we're going to bring in professional money handlers that are bonded and insured. And so once we do a ticket count, we can then double back that with our with the money that we brought in, and then get an accurate read on the money, because I'm not going to be fucking doing like it was in the old days where we just like, oh, okay, yeah, parents, you can take the money, and then they take 75% of it or some shit.
So we're doing the battle.
I mean, it raises $40,000. There's no reason why we shouldn't do it. With 4 to 5 trumpets, 3 to 4 mellows, 1 baritone, 6 trombones. I think 4 to 5 trombones. Let's say that 3 tubas
and no drumline.
Well, if I think if we only have 1 bass drum, a lot of the white bands will go out with 1 bass drum. We have to. What else? I don't want to give up $40,000 in revenue. I don't want to give up the opportunity for us to get the loan. And I do think that the alumni band in any form, people are going to want to see it, and they will enjoy it because they're going to sound good. They're not going to sound bad. I mean, the focus of our band is the horns. So we don't have drums because everybody else has drums right now. Could we potentially hire a drum line? Yeah, but I don't think that that's the focus. I think that is our horns is really what's gonna make this event a good event. But we do need bass drummers, and so we're working on that now. Taz and you.
Oh, that's why she added me on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So have some faith. Any questions on this, anybody else? This will be in one of your motions. Mr. Chairman?
Next slide. Percussion department, passing this one to Tim. Oh,
Tim's
but
not here.
Right, Tim's not here. Do you want to do it, Jonas?
Not really.
Oh.
If he's not here, then we have to table this. I want to do it, but our biggest weakness right now is that we're competing against Brooklyn United. Second, we don't know what experts will be there. Third, Tim is pretty inconsistent. He has a pretty tight schedule. He lives in Mount Vernon up there. It takes 2 hours for him to get here. I understand he wants to do this. We can make it happen. We can get a space rental. But we need at least 50 percussionists, and I don't understand where he's getting them from. And so unless he could sit here in this meeting, I think we should table this.
Okay.
I don't see this making us any money. I don't know what you guys say. I don't see it making it. I think it if we could do it, but it's up to Tim to make that happen. He has to do some work. You know, we have the money to pay him, but like I said, he's not at this meeting, so I can't talk about giving him any money.
Next slide in the meantime. All right, so next we have the CAO report. Next slide.
And I just wanted to say congratulations to Miss Tiffany Jordan. She is receiving the 2022 Broadcast Journalism Award from the Brooklyn Music and Leadership Institute. It's actually going to be a plaque.
Nice.
Thanks. It's going to be a plaque that way G doesn't get hurt. So it will be finished on Wednesday. I also ordered your trophy, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. So if the trophy comes, you'll get that as well. But the plaque you'll get next Wednesday. It gets here Wednesday. If you want to pick it up, you can pick it up, or we can ship it to you. So job well done. Brooklyn Social News was a big hit. We don't need a lot of viewers. We don't need millions of viewers. We really only need like 20, and those need to be the ones with money, and you definitely met those. So thank you so much, Tiffany, and then I'll pass it over to you to do your report.
Tiffany, you better go ahead, Glenn.
I appreciate it. Thank you for it.
Yeah, congrats, Tiff.
I
Job well
appreciate
done.
it. I appreciate it. I was pushed, I'll tell you that, by our dear old leader. It was his brainchild. So I appreciate the trust. I appreciate, pushing me to, do my journalism and all that jazz. But I appreciate all of you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. And then I guess the questions that we're asking you on your report that we'll ask each time is number one, from year to date, what has changed in the environment that you've noticed from, then to now? I mean, since you took that picture to where we are now, and then what do you think about social media and how people can support it? Yeah, and that's it.
So where we are now as a company? Or
yeah, like compared to when you took this picture, in 2019 or 2020.
Oh goodness, so much has happened. I feel like everything runs together. I just feel like we've been for the majority of the time, kind of fighting. We haven't had a chance to, sit back, relax, and just function as a company. I mean, I guess the fight was necessary to get to where we are now. When all goes well, we have the contract, which is great, because we didn't have anything. We haven't ever had anything solidified in the last 2.5 years. So I think that's something to be proud of. But we did fight to get it. We worked hard to get here. We've even changed, we haven't had the same group of people working in the company throughout this whole time. We've had so many people, in and out for whatever reason, whether they decided to go, whether they weren't trustworthy, whether, they weren't upholding their, their job description. So, hopefully now we pray that everybody is solidified, and who we have now is, who will continue to move forward with. Because I think that's very important, having people in and out, that the retention of whether it's board members or staff members, that, that could take a toll on the company because there's no consistency. So hopefully this is the start of that consistency, because we have had our fair share of people, not making the cut for whatever reason. As far as social media, you wanted me to discuss how we could use social media to continue?
Actually, I had a question for you. We've had some people come and go. Do you think that it's an appropriate time now to reach back out to the previous board members that we had and invite them back? Or
I'm very big on, I give not everybody a side eye, but I'm very, I sit back, observe, listen. Some people are not with us for reasons because we always talk about loyalty, trustworthiness, are you, what's your agenda, that type thing. So, I don't know, because I don't.
Yeah, why are we backtracking?
I don't feel like people now you want to hop back on, because what was your agenda in the first place? Some people, they were a little, they seemed a little shady. They didn't seem like they were a good fit for who we are as people and, the way we move. I don't know. Why would we reach back for what? What are they giving? What benefit would it do? Are they winning or are we winning? Because we're functioning now without them.
Right.
I mean, we've kept it moving. We keep it moving. People fall off. Okay, we keep it moving. So
You're
I
right.
don't necessarily think we need any of them because what are they? If we can still function without them, then what were they really bringing to the table in the first place?
Correct.
True. And I mean, that's
Boom.
really like Dr. Curtis. We lost Dr. Curtis, we lost Gary Lowe, which that was really weird. Kenyatta Hughes, and then we lost Tiffany's colleague as well. In addition, we lost Bianca. So all right. So with social media marketing, like I noticed like you like and you share stuff on social media, not always, which is good, but you have like if you run through Tiffany's pages, you'll see some institute stuff on it. So what is your recommendation to the board about how to interact with our social media in this post-pandemic era?
Like I said, I'm not the best at it. I mean, just simply you get a chance while you're on your own personal social media, just like, oh yeah, let me just check to see if Jonah shared anything and just quickly do it. You know, whenever you're on it, just quickly do it. The more we do it, I mean, it can't hurt. You know, the more of us that do it, then everybody that's on our personal, personal pages, they'll see it. So it's just trying to, I guess, make a conscious effort to do it. Cause like I said, I'm not perfect with it either. I can admit that. Just trying to be a little more mindful of it as like it's a part of our not daily job or weekly job, however you want to do it.
Yeah, at least once a month. And I think like it's most important on LinkedIn. Facebook is whatever because like it's just Facebook is shit. Like on Facebook, you want to share a video or a picture of the band. On LinkedIn, if you don't have any updates and we post something that you like, then you can share it. That's what I think, right?
No, I have not been good on LinkedIn at all. Facebook, I can hit you with the share. So me personally, I will make it my business to do better on LinkedIn because I really don't partake in the LinkedIn atmosphere, but I will do my best to do that. I have to admit, I can't be out here telling people to do stuff and I'm not doing it. So
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, I think we slowed down our social media a lot because it seems like post-pandemic, like what I'm paying attention to is that our kids and our parents don't fucking pay attention to our social media. They go to our website once and then they want to know how to sign up. But now you can't even go to our website and sign up for our program anymore. You have to be assigned to us. So
yeah, as far as it says, what direction should we take? I mean, just continue to keep our name alive. People know that we're back. Well, not that we're back. We're back better. I know the program, quote unquote, continue, but it wasn't you. So, but just stay in people's faces so they don't forget that we're here and just continue working. I mean, we have a lot of behind the scenes work. Whatever we can put out there to show our progress or what we're doing. It can't hurt.
and then of the Brooklyn Social News, like, do you want to continue that? And should we loop in another university?
It would depend on when. Like right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit overwhelmed. I have a lot of stuff going on, but I don't dislike the Brooklyn Social News. It's a lot of work behind the scenes. It's a lot, but everything that we put out, I am proud of. Like, man, I'm proud of what we do each time, even if whether it's once a year, twice, whatever the case may be. It does take a lot of planning. So I'm not sure when you would want to do it again. If we're trying to do it within the next 3 months or so, it's going to be tough. It's like the end of the year. There's a lot, testing stuff going on. My personal, I'm a teacher, so, but I like the Brooklyn Social News. However we want to use it. So I'm not trying to retire from it necessarily.
No, I think that a band camp would be good, like to travel to a university band camp and be on location and do the Brooklyn Social News pre-recorded and do it like that.
I'd have to look at my schedule because I do have some things planned, but I guess we can talk off to look at some stuff to see if it's a possibility.
Yeah, because we have to find a band, but I would think we should go FAMU or Bethune-Cookman.
See, I don't want to commit until I'm able to see, but I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, we would travel Thursday. We would travel a Thursday, a Friday, and get back Saturday.
Okay.
Film Thursday, film Friday, get back home Saturday. All right. We ready, Jordan?
Yep, we are ready. Next slide. Financial year. So July to June 30th is a financial year. March April, complete billing. May through June, we'll file taxes. Okay, so July 2022, we're starting a new financial year. And I'm assuming that goes into June 30th of 2023. So far, we're in a good standing. We may be subject to audit moving forward, which means a tighter regulation on financial transactions from here. Next slide. So next, we would have a job interview, but Terry's not here, right?
Yeah, so what do you, I mean,
Okay, so are we gonna put motion in the chat if we're gonna give him another chance, or?
I'm
You
gonna
need-
pass.
Can I
Go
say
ahead.
something on this?
Yeah, go, Kendra.
Like I told Jonas before, and he actually said it before I said it. You know, Terry, he's talented. He's a very talented young man, but he doesn't have the educational background to really, I would think, give the best opportunity to our students. Yes, like I said, his story and his work ethic and the amount of experience he has on the trumpet, like it will be great as an inspiration for our students. Once things get started, to let them know that, like, a regular person from Brooklyn, from Red Hook, started out not really knowing what he wanted to do, but then joined this organization, and blah, 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 so on and so forth. I'm not trying to go all the way out with that. But I feel like I said to Jonas, if he showed up today, that I think it would be feasible to do, when the program was up and running within the schools, to do maybe a 2-week trial run with him. But he didn't show up today, so I feel like he lost that opportunity, because if it was any other organization or business, you don't show up to your interview, there's no handing back out to anything.
Yeah, and I feel like our situation right now is really fragile, and the people that we bring on, like I said, need to be polished and clean. We're going into high level meetings. We report to the chancellor. We're outside of a principal's office. Like, I don't have time for bullshit. He's welcome to participate in alumni band. But this interview was for us to select somebody who, once the band staff leaves and we step down, that they would be following behind us to lead the band program, and not being at the right place at the right time with the right equipment, ready to concentrate is that shows that for all the time that you spend in the program, you still didn't learn anything. So I think Alex also had some words on this too.
Yeah, I honestly feel like we should just use the people that we have at the moment. I don't feel like it's necessary to add anybody new staff-wise as yet. Now, granted, if he would have showed up, I probably still would have felt that way. But him not showing up still, I'm glad I don't change when I put my mind to something. So yeah, I don't think it's necessary at the moment. Once we get the kids in, and we just need to establish the framework of everybody that was in this from day one, let it see through before we, reach out to anybody else. Yes, we need extra hands on deck or whatever, but everybody just got to do what they got to do at this point. No new friends at the moment. Sorry.
And they can volunteer. So,
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Ron.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah, they
risk-
can volunteer.
I was
That's
just agreeing.
cool, but expecting money payment for the services at this point, nah. Anybody who's willing to help, this will be your internship, unpaid internship.
I think it should be presented like that.
Or not even, I feel like not even internship. You can get volunteer credit for it, because we are a nonprofit organization. So I feel like if you feel like you can offer your assistance in any area that we need assistance in, then you should volunteer, because as of right now, I don't think paying everyone to do something that I feel like if we as the board, if we really wanted to do, we could really, and we really want to put our time to it, we could do it ourselves, and to avoid all the the you know the miscommunication. But if they feel like they want to help, then I feel like that we should offer them uh, uh, volunteer hours credits. That's how
Yeah,
I
and
feel.
I think like yeah, you can get your alumni jacket, you get VIP status, you could travel with us. Like we have a lot of things that are low cost to us but high value to other people and make it a win-win situation. So yeah, but like you said, if you on that bullshit, like you can't hide when you're on bullshit to an institute, because we've seen every type of bullshit that there is in the world right now. We've seen everything from the rooter to the tutor. And so, you know, this is a symptom of the type of employee that he would be. And although he might be a great addition, you know, this one thing would lead to a much bigger issues in the future. And it's sorry to say it like that, but hey, we'll move forward with Desiree Jaiman. That's who we'll hire to be, you know, the head director after I leave. All right, shall we?
We shall.
Yep.
Miss-
Next slide. So lastly is the chairman's report. Next slide.
God, look at how much stuff we covered, everybody.
Yep.
You said it was going to be 2-3 hours, though.
We're almost finished.
Okay, so we have an open discussion on whether we want to keep Malcolm. And then we have motions on whether we're moving forward with the contract, whether we're moving forward with Juneteenth, whether we're moving forward with seeking financing, whether we're moving forward with the percussion clinic, corporate tax filing, Terry, Malcolm, Network for Good, adding executive board members. So
So with Malcolm, I guess I'm gonna turn on my camera and I'm gonna just be frank with everybody. It's kind of hard. Okay, here we go. I think. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Oh, you could? All right. Good. Because I can't see myself. So with Malcolm, to be honest with you, he really dropped the ball, and that is what concerns me. Not only did he drop the ball with his duties, like as far as being the treasurer, as you can see, I had to do the reports here by myself, but I've been doing the reports by myself. He was supposed to do a concert with me. And instead of doing that concert, he said to me, hey, you know, I'm going to give you 30 days of promotion. When I went to contact the venue didn't respond. And then Malcolm had got kicked out of his house. He was living in an Airbnb. I went to watch a video clip of his performance, and his idea of performing was playing his trumpet over a track of music with another trumpet performer. So basically, the track of music was a trumpet player playing the music that he was playing on his trumpet. So the venue didn't want him to perform again. And so that messed up my opportunity at that venue in Rochester. I didn't really think that his heart was pure in bringing me to that venue. I don't know what it was, but I got a really bad feeling about it. He told me 96 hours ago that he would give me a call in the afternoon, and I have not. He won't answer my phone calls. He won't respond to text messages. He won't respond to the board chat. But he will have people call me in Cincinnati or wherever to do a job recommendation for him to become a chief executive or to become a financial representative over a $40 million trust and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, oh wow, you're gonna handle $40 million trust, but you can't even do $30,000 worth of work for the institute. That's crazy. So that's my 10 cents on that. Thank you. Does anybody have any comments on situation?
Oh,
I mean, for me, yeah, I don't, I'm sorry.
Ron, go for it.
I was going to say talk about
Me?
something else.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
I was saying I was going to talk about something else, so I'll let Ron go.
Oh, the only thing I was gonna say, you know, just kind of what we was discussing earlier, just kind of keep it simple. You're not committing, you out. Period.
Thanks.
And that's
You
for
know,
what?
exactly. It's very. I think it's very simple, man. Like, you know, if you're gonna do this, you know, put in whatever time you can. I mean, y'all look at me. I'm literally on a cruise ship right now in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean, but I'm still here in this meeting. You know, and I'm paying for internet. So, you know, but only because I want to go. I'm believing in this institute. I'm believing in what this program can do for not just children, but the community in New York City. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not really doing too much, but I'm at least showing up at these meetings. If you can't do something simple like that, you shouldn't even be a part, you know, especially in a big chair like he was going to be in. So it's very simple. You're not committed. Bye. That's all I got to say.
I actually appreciate those words, Ron. No, I was just gonna say, like along the lines, like with Terry, it's like, you know, there's not even like, I'm sorry I showed up late, or I'm sorry I woke up late, or my phone's not working, or, you know, something I gotta drop off my kids or something. There's nothing, you know, even until now. So that's just what I have to say about that. You know, I'm probably a bit more lenient, but it's like there's still nothing at all, you know. So
There's no excuse. Like, there's no excuse to just click on a link and, you know, just be present. Like, most people are not saying anything in this. Like, we're just listening. All you have to do is sign on and listen.
Right.
If you need something to say, cool. Look, Ron is paying for internet on a boat. Like, come on. Like, the dedication is low. I'm in traffic right now on my way to work. I'm on the phone. Like, there's no excuse. I was in the shower and all that the whole time on this thing, listening. There's no excuse.
Oh, we didn't need to know that part, man.
Nah, hey, keep your imagination to yourselves, you know?
Alex.
You know?
He had on a full set of
Maybe,
clothes.
you know?
He
But
showered
I'm
in a
saying,
sweater.
like, come on, like, nah, we need to make this motion now, vote on it now. We don't have no other, nothing else needs to be said, to be honest.
All right, so we'll put that through in the motions then. You want to move on to the other business so we can get ready to close this out? Obviously, if he's leaving, Jordan, we need a treasurer, and we need an official secretary too. We need somebody that I can work with to take this information from the agenda and turn it into
minutes.
You know, yeah.
I feel like
we need to do board resolutions now. We're done with minutes.
Board resolutions, interesting. I'm under
resolution saying that we voted on this, we made this adoption effective immediately. This is being changed. We need somebody to do that.
I'm wondering if I could do that interim at least, because I mean, like whenever I talk to you and like whenever we're in like meetings, I always take notes. I mean, or like I write down little notes. I won't say they're like, I won't necessarily even say they're adequate yet, if anything, but
okay.
I don't know about
anybody second that Jordan absorbs secretary duties for now until the board grows.
I second that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, same. Might as well.
And you put that motion in the chat, and then treasurer is a big one. We need somebody in treasurer. You work with me once a month. What you're doing is making sure that for every transaction, there is a receipt.
I guess I can step up to that plate. more free time on Mondays now. So
Anybody want a second Kendra's run for treasurer?
Second.
Seconded.
All right, so we'll put a
Go
motion
for
in
it.
the chat. And then the last thing, Jordan, is
Mhm.
Network for Good, right?
Right.
So we
Oh.
left off, we had a conversation with it. So this is now bringing everybody back full circle. It's expensive. It's a professional platform, but the real problem is like we need a band. We need to put our band together, and maybe we do Network for Good when we have more cash flow, or I don't. It's expensive, and that's it. That's the only thing that I'm worried about with that.
Is it necessary right now? Like right now? Or can we say that, yeah, this is a good thing, we can do it, just not right now in this particular moment, but in the near future? Is that possible?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I guess I just want to make sure that we reach a consensus, because it's a great platform. But our biggest platform is our band, because our band, raises more money than people visiting our website and donating.
I have something to say. I feel like if it's not necessary, like if we can move forward within our contracts and still be okay, then I feel like we should table it for right now, because if you're looking at it from the financial point, going back in the slides, yes, we have the funds available, but if we do it, we'll deplete it, and then we'll be stuck in a hole trying to figure out if we, just in case anything bad comes up, we'll be stuck in a hole trying to figure out how we're going to get the funds for that, and we'll be going it within our own personal pockets. I feel like I heavily feel that if we continue with that network, yeah.
Yeah, I think we could let's give it a few more months and see how our finances look. All right. And that's the meeting. So anybody want to
wait. I got a question.
Yeah.
So like I was just like doing like a checkup on like my Facebook the other day, and it's like sometimes I might like share some like some funny things, but I don't know how professional it is. Like the last thing I shared was like a video of it's like how there's like gray sweatpants season, and it's like the woman was like, oh, why you going outside dressed like a slut, like to her man or whatever. So I'm like, I wanted to ask like Tiffany if she thinks like that's unprofessional, or if that's like kind of like okay.
Oh, I hate to tell anybody what's unprofessional. It's just, I don't know. For me, I get it. Like we're all human. We all have our own sense of humor. But then you have people who are like to scrutinize and say stuff. I don't know. Like, I guess maybe that's a Jonas question, because we have been scrutinized in the past. Like people that we've been trying to work with have gone and seen certain things on people's social media and have had an issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then it goes back to, well, damn, I'm grown. I can post this.
Right.
It's just, I guess if you feel like, if you have to question it, like if you have a question about it, maybe not. But I mean, that's your own personal thing too. I'm not gonna sit and tell a grown person what not to post, but keeping in mind we're entangled with the DOE and we're, it's just, we have so many variables going on. So I don't know, Jonas, if you wanna.
I guess I just wanted to say it's not about what you post, it's about what is public and what is viewable only by your friends. And so just make sure that you reconcile your public post versus your private post and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is easy to do on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're fine. I'm fine. All right. Okay.
All right. So that's all the work. I think now it's just open discussion. If anybody has any questions about anything that we ran through, if you want to see another slide again, I could pull that up. If not, you have the slide in the chat, and Jordan will put the motions together so that we can vote. I think the most important one for me is the contract and the financing so that I can take that and then begin to put the documents together so that we can pursue contract financing.
Okay, as a secretary,
If there's,
I was gonna ask.
I'm
as a
sorry.
okay.
If there's any, is it?
All right, Ron, just give me a second.
Yeah, because I'm running out of. Sorry, man. I'm running
Okay,
out
you
of.
run out of time.
I'm
Okay,
running
go
out
ahead.
of internet again.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's nothing else. Yeah. I'm running out of internet. So if there's nothing else on my side, I'm gonna go so I don't have to pay for another package internet.
All right. And send us the bill. We can reimburse you.
If that's okay with you, Jay.
Yeah, send us the bill. We'll reimburse you.
It's all right. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
we're
I'll send a
organizations. We can
screenshot.
do that.
It's through the app.
Yeah, send us a screenshot.
All right. Yeah,
my email.
I'll send it to you. All right, cool, no problem, man.
All right, take care,
guys,
Ron.
it's been fantastic. I'll see y'all later.
Okay, talk to you later on.
Later, guys.
I was gonna ask, Prof, where do you want me to put the notes? I don't have much right now, but where do you want me to put the minutes as a secretary?
When you finish with the minutes, I guess we could put them in the chat for now, or yeah, put them in the chat. So use the agenda, and then what you do is you want to take every topic and change it into one simple paragraph, like very simple. You don't have to give much detail at all. So every topic, just say, Jonas discussed, Tiffany discussed, Tim discussed, Ron discussed, Alex discussed, Kendra discussed, blah, 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 blah. And that's it. That's the minutes have to be very, very simple. They should be no more than 2 pages, 4 pages at the max. And you can put those in the chat, yeah. The chat is gonna be real busy the next few days, everybody.
Okay, all right.
All right, so then we just need a motion to end the meeting, and everybody say aye, and then we'll be done.
Motion to end the meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Say aye. Kendra?
Okay.
I'm sorry, my phone had not.
Okay, all right. I'll talk to you guys later then. Oh, but Jonas, you're the you run the meeting, right?
No, you run the meeting.
No, but you have the Zoom.
Oh yeah, I do. All right, so that's the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Yep.
Bye.
Later.